Here's the thing that people don't tell you about your 40s. Your 40s, they're like, it's like a bridge. It's like a halftime in your life. I mean, think about it relatively. If you live in America, if you live in a quote unquote Western world or a world that has a decent healthcare system and you make a few dollars, you might expect to live 74, 75 years old, women a little bit longer. So relatively, hitting your 40s, you've crossed over into the second half of your life. But your 40s is really, it's more like a bridge, and people don't tell you this. It's kind of like a hybrid. It's like your hybrid years, kind of like your teenage years. Like, it's kind of weird at first, it's foggy. You don't really know what's going on, why you feel the way you feel. And you're not even really sure how it's going to turn out. But for the most part, it'll turn out fine. Like, I'm a young Gen-Xer, so I'll be leaving my 40s fairly soon. But yeah, I think that your 40s is this weird bridge years. It's like you are either old young or young old. Now, of course, for the younger people, they'd be like, motherfucker, you just old. But they don't know. Your 40s, you ain't old. You ain't old by a stretch. You may act old. You know, your itinerary may read old. You know, the shit you pay attention to. But in your 40s, you're not old. Because I know in my 40s, like I said, I'm still in my 40s, young Gen-Xer baby. I am in this weird phase where in one stretch and within like a 5-minute stretch, I had one person say, hey, OG. And I turn around and there's somebody like 20 years younger than me ask me if I got a lighter. No, I ain't got no lighter on me. And then about 2 or 3 minutes later, excuse me, young man. Who the fuck is calling me young man? You turn around and it's somebody in their 60s, 70s, you know, your mama, your auntie's age, your uncle's age or some shit. Anyway, been called Unc plenty of times. I still haven't been called anything disrespectful, but clearly the different things that I do, different circles sometimes that I fuck around with. I might be the oldest person, and then I might be one of the younger people. So your 40s is this hybrid age. It's this bridge stage. And the thing about it that's weird is, in your 40s, like, you know, you can still do some quote-unquote young things, but hopefully you're not trying to act young. You know what I'm saying? That's a part of the problem for a lot of people as they get older, is that they miss their younger years. That's fine, of course, especially, you know, that's fine. Everybody has, you know, some type of feeling like that, but you can't go back and relive it. You are the age that you are. Hopefully you made some good decisions. Hopefully you've benefited from some of the seeds that you've planted and now you've been able to reap them. But you can't go back and be 19 again. Like, I had somebody ask me the other day, we were talking about how, you know, kids are getting older and going to prom and graduation and off to college and stuff. And the lady was like, would you go back to 20 or 25? It was something like that. And I was like, no. And the reason why is, would I like to have my physical form at 25? For the most part, even though I've gotten in better shape, I've gotten a little bit more muscular and toned since then. But I mean, yeah, to have like that vitality, that spring, I'd like that. But I like the shit that I've learned. I like a lot of the shit that I've done, even though I didn't do all of the shit that I wanted to do. I like what I've done post 20, post 25. And to go back to that means that I didn't never do that shit. No, I don't want to go back. I luckily planted a few seeds, and those seeds have done me well. So, but you know, your 40s is, like I say, once again, it's this bridge age where you see young people doing shit and it looks dumb to you. That's the beginning of the oldness talking. So you have to kind of check yourself sometimes. I heard one person talking in this article, something I was listening on the radio or something. some study or something, or whatever. And the person was saying, like, you know how when you start to hear younger people saying things and speaking a certain way and developing a certain language, a certain vernacular that you've never heard of, that you don't understand, and you start thinking it's dumb, you're not trying to like learn it, or it's just difficult, it sounds stupid to you. Guess what? It wasn't for you. That's why it's weird to you. It wasn't for you. And it's hard for you to understand that because you used to be in that age group. You used to be younger. You used to be more inquisitive. You used to be more freelance and freestyle. And now you're like, I just learned how to do these 3 fucking social apps. And now you want me to learn how to do this shit? No, man, just stop coming out with new shit. That ain't how life works, bro. That ain't how it goes. And so when you start saying these type of things, when you start feeling a certain way, when you start looking at young people a certain way, like, why you act this way? Why you do stupid shit? What you're saying may be legitimate, but recognize every generation before that generation said pretty much the same thing. And it was legitimate, and yet, fuck you, older generation, the young people are going to do ultimately what they're going to do. And hopefully, if taught right, if provided good examples, some of that shit does get in, and maybe they plant some seeds. Maybe they sow some seeds that later on they can reap and everybody can eat off of. But, you know, your 40s is this weird period because, like I say, you know, a lot of people go through their midlife crisis. I went through mine. It was multiple things that kind of collided at that time. But, you know, for dudes, for women, you know, sometimes you reach that stage where it's like, did I make the right choices? Do I still got time? Should I change course? Should I double down? You know, you start questioning yourself kind of like you do in your teenage years where you go from being, you know, relatively a kid. And now you start changing a little bit. And you're a teenager. And now you're a young man, a young woman. People in the world and in different instances, you know, you're different now. Shit's just different and weird and uncertain. Your 40s is kind of like that in a lot of ways. It's like, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? I done seen some things. I done been around the sun a few times. But how much longer do I have? I mean, some people have not made it this far. Some people have not made it this far. And some people dropped like that. You know what I'm saying? Didn't know. Nobody saw it coming. So who says that you or I have tomorrow? So maybe I need to just start living in the moment. Maybe I need to start appreciating what I got. It's a fucking schism. It's the farthest ends of the spectrum that you start thinking about in a way that you had never thought about before. And it's, do I live for the moment? Because I don't know how much more time I have. Or do I cherish what I got? Because I don't know how much more time I have. And it's the first time that you really start thinking that way. And if you've got kids or something, you started to see them come up and get older, and they're starting to do different things in life that you did or didn't do, but you remember that age and stage. It's your 40s is the first time since your teenage years where shit gets cloudy. It gets cloudy. You know what I'm saying? Some people's relationships fall apart. Some people start new relationships. You know, and like I say, the 40s is kind of like the end period of you relatively being young. Because no disrespect to the people in their 50s, and hopefully I will reach that pretty soon, but your 50s, you're now like young, old. You went from old, young to young, old. But your 40s, I mean, you still got sports. You still have people in sports. And, in really intensive sports, you know, basketball, football, baseball, hockey. Motherfuckers fully in their 40s competing at some of the highest levels, but not in your 50s. In your 50s, you need to sit your ass down. I'm not saying shut it down. I'm just saying bring it back down some, maybe get into the executive suites a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Start being in the ownership plans as opposed to being one of the players in the game, one of the pawns on the chessboard. That's another story. But, you know, I've had different people ask me, like, what's it like getting older? I got another video. Go check out some of my other shit where I talk about what it's like getting older. And I'll have different other videos where I talk about, at least from my experience, what it's like getting older. I know as a Gen-Xer, you know, we done seen some things. They done came and went. Now they coming back again. So we like, oh, that's what that's like. I remember older folks saying like, motherfuckers, y'all stealing our shit. Well, you got Gen-Zers and Alphas stealing our shit and acting like we came up with it. No, you didn't. Because we didn't come up with it. We all stand on the shoulders of the people that came before. It's just recognized. And so now in your 40s, you stop being so cocky as a young person, acting like you invented the wheel, and you recognize, oh, someone else invented the wheel, and now it's my responsibility to just take us further with it. So a lot of my channel, a lot of the videos is just my life experiences, my perspective, different things that I've thought of that it's relative to, you know, maybe what motherfuckers have gone through or other people's perspectives that I've come across. Anyway, so this your boy. I just figured I'd drop that out there for anybody that's in their 30s, that's about to hit their 40s, or somebody who wonders what their 40s is like. When you look at Unc out there and you wonder, like, I wonder what it's like to be that motherfucker. Because I'm 17, I wonder what it's like to be that nigga right there. Well, your 40s, it can be sweet. It can be sweet. It also can be uncertain. But it's really kind of like your teenage years. How was shit in your teenage years? Hopefully you had some good shit. Because I know it was some shit that was uncertain and brand new. That's kind of how your 40s is your teenage years before you get older. Anyway, it's your boy. Maybe you got some comments. Let me know how your 40s was for you. But Gen X, baby, I'm going to get back, do my thing. Smoke this one real quick. I'll let you.